lesson 7-8. We're going to continue in our math journal with part 2, solving division measurement problems. So let's go ahead and begin right away into our math journal, as this is a continuation of our previous lesson, and we did the first 4 problems together last time. So let's begin on page 249. Page 249. At the top, the spring celebration was a great success. The 4th grade students had a lot of stories to tell about their time at the skating rink. Read the stories below and answer the questions. John and Michael raced each other to see who could skate farther in 5 seconds. John went 6 meters, while Michael went 7,600 millimeters. A, how much farther in millimeters did Michael go than Jonathan? So what I need to do is to take 7,600, what Michael went in millimeters, and subtract what John went. So we're going to take the 6 meters, but we have to multiply that because there are 1,000 millimeters in 1 meter. So let's multiply that by 1,000 and get our difference between those two distances. So let's go ahead and solve for 6 times 1,000 is 6,000. So 7,600 minus 6,000 is 1,600 millimeters. If Michael traveled the same distance each second he skated, how many millimeters did he travel in 1 second? So again, let's take Michael, 7,600, and divide that by the number of seconds that he traveled, and that was 5. That will give us, let's put an M for Michael, what was his speed per second. So let's go ahead and set up this division problem. Is if we divide the distance that he traveled by the 5 seconds, that will give us how much he traveled each second. So 5 goes into 7 one time. Let's subtract that from 7. Bring down your 6. How many times does 5 go into 26? Goes in there 5 times, which is 25. Go ahead and subtract. Bring down your 0. How many times does, don't have any space left. 5 go into 10 goes twice. It's 10. Subtract, bring down your 0, and 5 goes into 0 times. So he traveled 1,520 millimeters per second. Let's continue to number 6. Carla brought a 1.5 liter bottle of apple juice to share with her 2 friends. She poured an even amount into each of the 3 big glasses. If she used all the juice, how many milliliters did she pour into each glass? So let's take the 1.5 liters times, and how many milliliters are in a liter? Well, there is 1,000 milliliters in every liter. So I'm going to multiply this by 1,000. Go ahead and write that down. And then she divided it or poured it evenly into 3 glasses. So let's divide that by 3 to get, let's put J for juice. So the first thing we have to do is we have to take 1 times 1,000, which is 1,000. And then what's half of 1,000? Well, add that together, you get 1,500. 1,500 divided by 3 glasses. How many times does 3 go into 15? And then all we have to do is add 2 zeros behind it. It's just an extended basic division fact. 3 goes into 15 5 times, and then just put 2 zeros behind it. So she put in 500 milliliters into each glass. And number 7, the skating rink offers both roller skates and rollerblades to skaters. Michaela's pair of roller skates weighs about 3 kilograms. Evander's pair of rollerblades weighed about 2,600 grams. Notice their difference, kilograms versus grams. How much more in grams did one roller skate weigh than one rollerblade? So there are 1,000 grams. Start that again. 1,000 grams in each kilogram. So we're going to take the 3 kilograms times 1,000 grams in a kilogram, and then divide that by 2 because we're talking a pair of roller skates, so that would be 2 individual ones. And then we're going to subtract the weight of Evander's. Evander's is 2,600 grams divided by 2, because a pair would be 2 individual skates together. And then that should give us the difference. So underneath, let's take 3 times 1,000, which is 3,000. Divide in half. What's half of 3,000? 1,500 minus, and what's half of 2,600? Well, half of 2 would be 1, half of 6 would be 3. So half of 2,600 is 1,300. Let's go ahead and subtract that. If you can do it in your head, great. If not, go ahead and subtract. The difference is 200 grams. 200 grams. So the biggest thing in these problems is that they often we're talking liters, but then milliliters. So we have to make sure we're comparing like measurements. Let's continue on our math box page. And this would be found on page 250. Page 250. We might not do all of them, but let's go ahead and review with math boxes. Math boxes just help us keep our skills up to date so we don't forget things. So some number in 1A, some mixed number plus 2 3/4 gives me 8 2/4. Or so if I take 8 2/4 and subtract 2 3/4, watch what I can do. Add 4/4 to that. I get 6/4. 6/4 minus 3/4 is 3/4. And 7 minus 2 is 5. So 5 3/4. Just going to erase some of this so you can see it. Continuing on, 6 2/5 plus 3 4/5. Let's add the whole numbers together first. 6 plus 3 is 9. Remember, fifths stays the same. 2 plus 4 is 6, but we're going to change that to a mixed number. So 6/5 is the same as 1 1/5. So I'm going to add the whole number to the 9 to get 10, and I'm left with 1/5. 8 5/6 minus something gives me 6 2/6. Well, if I take 6, I'm going to keep that the same. 5 minus what would give me 2? Would be 3. And 8 minus what gives me 6? 2. 2 3/6. Now, if you set up D, 5 3/12, and you set it up vertically, you'll notice that you cannot subtract 7/12 from 3/12. So borrow 1 whole from the 5 and make it equal to 4. Then let's change that to a fraction that's equal to 1 whole. When the top number and the bottom number are the same, it equals 1 whole. Add those together. And now you can subtract. 15 minus 7 is 8. 12 remains the same. 4 minus 2 is 2. Moving on to number 2, draw the lines of symmetry. Where can I fold this shape so that when I fold a piece of paper with this on it, the lines would match up? There's a line of symmetry here, but there's one more line of symmetry. Where would it be? It also would be here. So there are 2 lines of symmetry. Number 3, I want you to go ahead and solve a 5,862 times 5. Would you pause the video and go ahead and solve and check and see if we have the same answer? Pause the video. 2 times 5 is 10, carry your 1. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 1 is 31. Put down your 1, carry your 3. 5 times 8 is 40, plus 3 is 43. Put down your 3, carry your 4. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 4 is 29. 29,310. All right, I'm going to skip down. Actually, let's go to number 5. We're going to multiply fraction times a whole number. Remember, you can change that whole number into a fraction as well, just putting that whole number over the denominator of 1. Now I can multiply straight across. 2 times 3 is 6. And 3 times 1 is 3. Let's change that to a whole number. How many 3s are there in 6? Well, it actually goes evenly. It goes 2 times. What number times 3 would give me 18? 6. And I could do 6 over 1 or just write 6. Letter C, 9/12 times 4. 9 times 4 is 36, and we keep 12s the same. We can rename that actually as a whole number. How many 12s are there in 36? 3. D, what number times 8 would give me 48/8? In other words, what number, we know it's going to be eighths, what number times 8 would give me 48? And the answer would be 6. E, 6/3 is the blank multiple of 1/3. Well, it's the 6th multiple. 1/3, 2/3, and so forth. And lastly, find the measure of angle F. Do not use a protractor. What do you know about an angle that's the same thing as a straight line? Well, it measures 180 degrees. So if I take 180 minus the 112 known, that will give me the missing angle. What is 180 minus 112? If you solve, you would end up with 68 degrees.